Dr. Kolodny, could you describe for us what exactly is APBD?
Yes, Stu, but first I have to thank you for that extravagant introduction. Thank you very much. Although Robert Zuckerman, as we heard last night, can no longer walk independently, he has not lost his zest for life, and he expresses it so well through his photographs and written descriptions of his subjects. I enjoyed the film very much, and will tell you at a later point a little bit about how it was made. Now, to answer your question, Stu, APBD is one of about 7,000 rare orphan diseases. An orphan disease is a disorder which affects generally less than 200,000 individuals. But worldwide, there are probably 350 million people who do have an orphan disease. Almost all of the orphan diseases are of some genetic basis. They have a genetic basis. In fact, if you had the New York Times science section to read this morning at breakfast, you would have seen a 3-page description of some unfortunate families with rare orphan diseases. Now, people with APBD have, as I indicated, a genetically determined disorder, which is especially prevalent among Ashkenazi Jewish people. And this is, of course, one of the reasons why we were very pleased to see the story of Robert Zuckerman yesterday, to spread the word about APBD. Just let me tell you a bit about the symptoms of APBD. It's an adult onset disorder, so life goes on normally until about age 45 or 50, the fourth or fifth decade, when bladder dysfunction becomes a problem. And that may sometimes be mistaken for, in men, of course, a prostate problem. But then, as we saw with Robert, there's a gait disturbance, and then sensory and motor neuropathy. The nerves don't work well. And pretty soon we have weakness in the legs, and then also weakness in the arms and fatigue. There can be, towards the 60s and later life, a mild cognitive impairment as well in our patients with some memory deficit. And this pattern can be seen as a white matter change on the brain MRI. By the early 60s, the patient requires generally assistance with a cane or a walker, and subsequently they become wheelchair dependent, as Mr. Zuckerman is. And there is a probable median survival till about age 70. So that's the overall picture. We do know a lot more about the disease now than we knew 15 years ago. You want to know, I think, about what causes APBD. It's due to a deficiency of an enzyme known as glycogen branching enzyme. Normally the protein, glycogen branching enzyme protein, is found in all organs and tissues of the body, and it's necessary to put branches onto glycogen, which is the essential and important source of carbohydrate for the body cells and tissues. It forms branches in the glycogen. The enzyme is called glycogen branching enzyme. And among Ashkenazim, there are two common mutations. They are known as so-called Y329S and IVS15. This is technical terminology, but people who are tested, who are Jewish and have the disease normally have two of one of these mutations or one of each of the two mutations. So it's a genetic disorder, and it is handed down as a trait from both parents to the affected individual, infected child.